Hey guys, Andre, Horizon City News. It's kind of a dramatic moment there at that city council meeting the other day when this man came up and was accusing some of these city council members at the City of Socorro of spreading lies about him. And all the drama aside, there's actually some serious issues, behind the scenes as to what all the arguing is over, and that is the MPO seat, which is a shorthand acronym for, I believe it's a Metropolitan Organization. I'll have to get the acronym down. This is all new stuff for me as well. I'm trying to learn along with you guys. But basically, all the local governments, the small towns and villages, along with the big city, everybody in the county, all the representatives of each government meet together at this one centralized location called the MPO. And they make all the big decisions about, transportation projects and anything to do with, bus routes and I'm assuming airports, trains, stuff like that. I mean, we're even talking about, like, for those who are familiar with the El Paso area, if you're local and you're watching this, even representatives from parts of New Mexico and Donna Ana County and Otero County, they also come to the meeting. So, I mean, until I found out about this issue with the MPO seat with the Socorro city government here, I had no idea what an MPO was. I didn't know how the government, sets up the whole planning project and how everybody's organized and all that. So, like I said, I'm learning along with you guys. And so I went to the city council meeting the other day, and little did I know this man was going to stand up and not only speak about the MPO position, but obviously he had a lot to say about supposedly people in the city council spreading lies about him. So you never know what you're going to get when you go to one of these city council meetings, I guess. Anyway, basically the reason I'm making this episode here is just to dig a little deeper, ask more questions. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them down in the comments section below. And, we'll learn what's going on here together. Even if you're not from the El Paso area, this will be a good video to watch if you have any interest in local government at all whatsoever, because I'm guessing that wherever you live, unless you live out in the middle of complete nowhere, that's like, or not complete nowhere, but if you live in a place that has less than 50,000 people in its metro area, it won't directly apply to you. But this whole thing dealing with MPO applies to anyone who lives in any type of metro area that has 50,000 or more people. So this is a national thing. It doesn't matter if you're in, New York State or California or Florida or here in Socorro, Texas, or Horizon City, Texas. If you're in any place that has, a half-decent population of 50,000 or more, then you should assume that there's an MPO representing you in some capacity somewhere. And so with this video and more of them that I make in a little series, we'll learn together about how this whole MPO process works, and at least here locally, how much money's being spent and who's in charge of what, and just basically what's going on. That's why I started this YouTube channel, is just to, keep an eye on government and not always look for bad stuff, but just watch what they're doing. That's all. It doesn't necessarily have to be negative and adversarial. It could just be learning, like what I'm doing here with this video. Just learning how things work and where the money goes and what's being done. So let's get into the video, and we'll find out a little bit more about the El Paso, Texas region MPO.
When you invoke my name, okay? When you invoke my name, trust me, I will come here and defend myself. Just because you guys have the mic You guys can say anything. The audience that isn't here and isn't aware of what has been transpiring in the city will take your word for it. And I will call your lies to your face, okay? When you invoke my name, and to put it in layman's terms, I'm not here, so when you say my name, that's what it means by invoking, okay? Ms. Villalobos came out and said that I was a bad representative in the MPO, okay? I want everybody here and everybody out there to know that last meeting in December, okay, Ms. Villalobos said that I was a bad representative in the MPO. But in that same meeting, when there was going to change representation in the MPO, Mr. Representative District 2 asked the mayor how many projects were in the MPO. And she quickly responded, oh, there's 5. And she left it at that. But if I was so bad, why didn't you continue and say that those 5 projects were my projects that I brought? Millions of dollars. 5 projects that are over millions of dollars I have brought. Okay?
We've already had 3 representatives in 2 years. We don't look like a city doing that. So I want you gentlemen to think about it. Maybe there's something else that Mr. Rudy Cruz can go into that we're not taking care of. Mr. Rudy, I love the financial part, but with this health issue that I'm going through, I have not attended. You are more than welcome to have that position. It's a very important position as well. But, and I know you're very popular, Mr. Rudy, and I'm going to be very frank with you. I know Mr. Samaniego is there, and he's a very good friend of yours. And that's excellent. That's excellent. That's good for our city. Now we're on the map, you know, et cetera, et cetera. But just to, you know, take this from under a rug that somebody's been doing a beautiful job, you know, I don't think it's fair.
Outside of the city of El Paso currently, the county of El Paso operates a completely separate transit system. That transit system's ability to connect to the Sun Metro City of El Paso system is really limited to having our users get off a county bus and get onto a Sun Metro bus.
And El Paso County is growing, the population is growing, there's areas outside of El Paso that are growing quickly, becoming more and more like cities. And the existing transit just isn't enough to move people around effectively and efficiently.
The county and TTI have enjoyed a really collaborative partnership. The largest project we've undertaken with TTI is a regional transit study, feasibility analysis. That's really giving the county and all of the local governments here in our region a guiding document that will allow us to explore consolidation and merging of existing transit systems to have one regional transit entity that can serve the needs of the community much better than we're doing now.
We surveyed transit riders on the current system in El Paso County, and we found that over 2/3 of them, or about 2/3 of them, don't have a driver's license. Almost half of them have an income of less than $15,000. About 30% of them have no access to a vehicle. And so that was the people that are riding the transit, so you can see that the need is there, and so it was really important for the service to work better for the residents in the county.
The county is growing at a significant rate, especially in the areas that rely on the county government for municipal style services. These unincorporated areas are growing 11 times faster than the city of El Paso is growing, which means that the demand for county services is growing significantly.
We were able to look at this problem from many different angles. You know, from the funding context, we could look at the regulatory context, we could look at the service context, and then you kind of fit the pieces of the puzzle together. The right type of service at the right level with the right stakeholders, and still maintaining, you know, compliance with the regulatory environment and identifying sources, potential sources of revenue.
Every human being has the need to move from one place to another. So offering different alternatives, in this case, improving transit service will be a better quality of life, because that's an activity we do every day.
We're entering a new era where the county is going to be responsible for road maintenance, road construction, providing high-end transit service, parks, and other quality of life amenities. Because of that growing responsibility, the partnership with TTI has proven invaluable to the county because of the level of expertise that they're able to offer, as well as the flexibility and how available the entity is.
And in closing, I will say this. I just hope you guys work together. I've repeated myself so many times with that. Work together. You have a great staff. Really. All that institutional knowledge from Mr. Ysleta, from Adriana, I don't know. But everybody else, Charlie, Mr. Cristiano, sorry Charlie for saying your first name, but because, you know, he's a singer, so I think I can say Mr. Charlie, but everybody has this great institutional knowledge. Plug their thoughts. You know, hey, this is what we can do. I did. You guys can too. Just work together. Mayor, I'm still waiting on your call.
I will. I'll call you.
But guys, I'm gonna leave you with this. I'm not a bad guy. Not a bad guy. May have this bigger voice and I'm a bigger guy, but I'm really not a bad guy. Just work together, guys. Just work together to move the city forward. You have the staff. You have the staff to do it. You know? I just hope you guys move forward. Really. And I just want to say thank you guys for allowing me the extra time to just spew it out there. Well, like I said, it's the last time I want to say this. I'm just frustrated because I'm going through a lot. I'm emotional because I'm talking for the first time publicly about my brother. So I am a little bit emotional. Because I still can't get over it because I miss my brother. But just move the city forward, guys. Thank you. And get a new microphone.
Ma'am? Miss Ma'am?
Yes.
Will you guys allow me to speak?
Will you guys allow me to speak? Mine won't be as long, it will be short.
Make it as quick as you can, please. We don't need to go over and over.
I understand. I understand. We need to vote on it? Do we need to vote on it?
Mayor, this is Jim Martinez. No, ma'am, you don't need to vote on it, but I would simply remind council that the Open Meetings Act says you can't deliberate issues that are not placed on the agenda. You can make a statement of fact, or you can say you can put something on, you'll put something on the agenda in the future. That's really all you can do.
Hey guys, it's Andre again. And I've got a question for at least one of you, or maybe a group of you guys. I'm trying to learn about the Open Meetings Act, the Texas Open Meetings Act, for all you guys that live in Texas or pass through Texas. And that's one of the reasons I went to this city council meeting, and I'm trying to learn about the MPO and all that. All that stuff is regulated by the Texas Open Meetings Act, like that man just said on that recording, that live stream recording. I don't know if he was a lawyer or not. It sounded like he was a lawyer. Anyway, I'm not quite sure if what this city council member, the female, I guess she's from District 4, I'm not quite sure if what she says is technically allowed by the Texas Open Meetings Act. This is all new stuff for me as well, so I'm not dead certain, so I'm not going to call her out, but I do have some concerns about what she said and whether it fits into the rigid requirements of what is allowed to be spoken about during a discussion. Basically, from what I can understand from the Texas Open Meetings Act, every single thing that's discussed has to be carefully noted on the official agenda. I guess that's like to prevent mob rule and like just like chaos, you know, just like people just talking about whatever and, you know, just, you know, not, things wouldn't even make sense and nothing would get done. So everything that has, everything being discussed, there's a procedure for everything. And they can't just talk about whatever. It has to be on the agenda. So even though this is probably really nitpicky and petty because she only said like a couple sentences, I'm wondering if what she said, you'll hear it very shortly once I get off here. But what she says obviously is not something that has anything to do with anything that was on the agenda. And it was a response to the long statement that this man made at the podium, which I'm just curious if whether that was actually her response was allowed by the Texas Open Meetings Act, because basically she didn't just give like a factual statement about, you know, XYZ. You'll see that she gives like an emotional statement about how she feels about this man and about how she doesn't trust him and she doesn't like what he said about her on his podcast, which it was only a couple sentences. Obviously, it didn't take much time. And everybody's human. Everybody makes mistakes. But I'm wondering if what she said there was a possible very small technical violation of the Texas Open Meetings Act, because she basically started discussing something that wasn't on the agenda. She didn't just give like a plain factual answer. And to go into more detail, maybe I'm not quite explaining myself right. There's someone much more educated than me, an actual lawyer in the Houston area from Harris County, Texas. He works for, it appears that he works for the Harris County, Texas government as a county attorney. So let me stop flopping my gums, and you don't have to listen to anything I have to say. He's an actual lawyer, and he'll explain it a lot better than me. So let me just shut myself down here, and let's see what he has to say.
Okay, here's one real important thing. Inquiry from the public. You're having a meeting, part of the meeting calls for comments from the audience or from speakers for items not on the agenda. We have two types of speakers come to our meetings. One who want to speak on the item on the agenda, one who they want to speak on an item not on the agenda. A guy gets up, he makes some comment about some subject, and then the commissioners want to engage him in some discussion about his problem. The problem is that that item, that information is not on the agenda, and therefore technically cannot be discussed at this open meeting because there's no notice. So, what are your options? The options are three. One, if a question is asked, you can give a factual answer to that question. Two, you can repeat an existing policy that is applicable to whatever the subject matter is raised by the comment. In other words, you can say, well, we have rules that deal with floodplains. I want to refer you to our public infrastructure department. And the third thing you can do is you can say, well, that's a very interesting question, and I propose that we put an item to discuss that on the next agenda. However, you cannot enter into a discussion about what the county should be doing about that problem, or what your opinion is about the problem, or what it is that is, you know, involved in the province of government that should be applicable to that problem, or to make any motions about taking care of the problem. You can't do any of that stuff. So that's something that I think that we're going to be paying closer attention to in the future, and making sure that we advise the Commissioners Court about it. Let's see.
Okay.
Thank you. Real quick, I apologize to Mr. Rodriguez. I wasn't talking about you, Mr. Rodriguez. I don't know if you were the last representative, because I didn't mention any names. I just said the last representative, and I believe that wasn't you, sir. So I was not talking about you, sir, and I want to state that clearly right now. Okay? I think we jumped the gun here, and I'm sorry that I did not return the call, but quite frankly, sir, I don't trust you. I apologize. I don't trust you. You broke my heart, sir. You and I had an understanding, and you went on your podcast and talked bad about me, and none of it was true. That's it. That's it. But I just wanted to state that fact. When I was talking, it wasn't about you, sir. And I did not know the two meetings where you were the one that missed them. I apologize if you misunderstood or somebody told you differently. Thank you. Real quick, I apologize to Mr. Rodriguez. I wasn't talking about you, Mr. Rodriguez. I don't know if you were the last representative, because I didn't mention any names. I just said the last representative, and I believe that wasn't you, sir. So I was not talking about you, sir, and I want to state that clearly right now. Okay? I think we jumped the gun here, and I'm sorry that I did not return the call, but quite frankly, sir, I don't trust you. I apologize. I don't trust you. You broke my heart, sir. You and I had an understanding. And you went on your podcast and talked bad about me. And none of it was true. That's it. That's it. But I just wanted to state that fact. When I was talking, it wasn't about you, sir. And I did not know the two meetings where you were the one that missed them. I apologize if you misunderstood or somebody told you differently. Thank you.
I'd like to say something as well, if you will allow me. I just want to say that offer you my sincere condolences on your brother's passing. I hope you take it. I'm very sincere about that. And I will call you. We'll probably maybe go to lunch, hopefully. And I'd like to speak to you about the MPO as well. Thank you.
Any other smaller speakers?
back a little bit just so we can continue our investigation.
All right, so now this is investigation, so you have another unit over here. You're fine. You know, you still can record. You're fine. But if you could just go over that unit over there. Okay.
Am I interfering with your investigation?
Now I made this my investigation. All right, I made this my scene. All right.
So you're bringing her over here.
So right here. If don't pass this line, and you're good.
You're saying that by me standing there, I'm interfering with what you're doing here?
Yes, right now, the additional unit that we just brought.
There's an additional
just because you brought an additional unit doesn't mean I'm interfering.
So now I'm saying
you can bring 100 additional units.
Look, you're too close to the car. That's why.
And what am I going to do to the fucking car?
I'm not saying you're going to do anything. Okay, so just please.
You're making shit up.
I'm not making.
You're playing little fucking games. Get to work, dude.
I have not. Just stay right there, okay?
Shut the fuck up. Get to work.
You cross that line, you're going to be interfering with the investigation.
I'm not interfering. I'm filming like I've always been. Get to fucking work. Stupid motherfucker.